Oh, hi, mijos. This is Cris Franco's Tia Chismosa, talking to you from my new dress shop called Las Tres V's, Bonitas, Buenas, y in Beverly Hills. You know, I wanted to do something for La Comunidad, so I thought I'd start out by getting everybody out of that old garment district alley and opening a shop here in El 90210. Hay que mejorar la raza. And I'm telling you, business is good, gente, yeah. Even the Persian girls are buying. You know, opening this store has been a real eye-opener for me. Yeah, I learned that different Latinos are into different labels. Like, you'd think that Cubanos would stay away from the Banana Republic stuff, but they love it almost as much as Armani. Did I say Armani? They love that too. Y mira, the Generation Enya kids, they're all into this Tommy Hilfiger and El Gap, and personally, I think the gap is between their ears because these t-shirts cost more than my wig. And this is a Lonnie Anderson, not a Louis Anderson. Y los yuppie Mexicans, you know, the yupsicans, the ones that are always leaving work early to go to the Biltmore for the latest empowerment pachanga, but it's always the same thing. It's Cruz Bustamante speaking, and then Paul Rodriguez does stand-up, and then Selma Hayek, she doesn't even show up. And the organizations have such different names. It's like the Mexican-American Legal Fulanos, the Salvadorian American Leadership Tocayos, and the Hispanic Public Relations Lonche Club, y todos los demás. More labels than Avery. I'm tired. I need some Peña Fiel. It goes down so smooth. You know, as for me, I'm going to take Edward James Olmos's advice, and I'm going to put Americanos on all my clothing labels. That's what I'm going to call them, so that my poor, confused mijos will know what they are. And I know that the Americano label is going to be really popular. I bet you even Ricky Martin is going to want to do my fall lineup. And girls, I always say if the rebozo fits, wear it. Anyway, el más confundido is my nephew Cris Franco, so of course he'll be moderating a discussion on Latino labels and why we all don't fit into a one-size-fits-all. Enjoy the show, mijitos. I got to get back to doubling the price on everything because tomorrow is our big half-off sale. Hope to see you there. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Greetings, and thank you for not turning off the TV. You're watching the most watched show at my parents' house. Café California. I'm your host, Cris Franco, y soy muy franco. Here to discuss Latino labels and what the heck to call ourselves is this fine panel, the first of whom calls himself Luis Martinez. He has worked in Hispanic marketing and in the U.S. and Latin America since disco. His career accomplishments include Hispanic Businessman of the Year and the PepsiCo Minority Vendor of the Year. Which off-ramp? No, I'm sorry, just kidding. That's the first joke. Sorry. We're all about those kind of jokes not existing. Luis doesn't believe in a Latino label. He says that we're all different, even within our own culture. Welcome, Luis Martinez.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We have Oslin Tezcatlipoca. ¿Lo hice bien?
Olin.
Olin Tezcatlipoca. I got the easy part hard. We're done. Anyway, he claims to be from Anuak, which is the land of our people. Before the Spaniards renamed it Mexica. Correcto?
No. It's called Anahuac, and the people are Mexica.
Oh, thank you.
Where you get the word Mexican
Thank
from.
God you're here. My Nahuatl is just so rusty, I'm telling you. He wants us all to be called Mexicanos. My father was a mechanic, just so you know. Olin says that Latino labels distract us from our Mexican identity. Welcome, Olin Tezcatlipoca.
Thank you.
Oh boy, I should get a little college credit just for saying that. Debbie Gutierrez was such a funny high school teacher that she hit the road and has become one of our brightest comedians. She's played all over the big clubs. I caught you at the Chicano Chuckle Hut, the Ha 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 Cien. No, he plays all of the mainstream clubs. And Debbie has appeared at the Montreal Comedy Festival, and we're very, very happy and proud to have her here. She thinks that cultural diversification leads to weakness and that we need a unifying label. Please welcome my friend Debbie Gutierrez.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for being here. You look lovely.
Thank you.
Okay. Finally, we have Yelva Osorio. She went from Honduras to Queens to Sesame Street. That's where she guest starred as a teenager. You've seen her on Moesha, Law and Order, and Walker, Texas Ranger. Yelva's an Alma nominee who believes that Latinos are hot, hot, hot. So who wouldn't want to be one, right? Welcome, Yelva Osorio. We have a lot of different opinions here about what it means to be a Latino. This is our topic, guys. In speaking of Romeo, Juliet said, "What is in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet." Well, that doesn't really seem to be the case with we Latino, Hispanic, Chicanos, Mexicanos, little brown ones who seem to put a lot of stock in a name. So much so that Edward James Olmos, our media icon, is introducing a new term in a book he's coming out with called Americanos. So let's begin, guys. What is in a name? Does it really matter? Now, I want to talk to Oline a little bit first, because you want to go way back to calling us Mexicanos.
Mexica is fine.
But don't you realize that we could go even farther than that and say we're hunters and gatherers?
Well, how about human beings?
Hey, how about it?
But bottom line, what do the French call themselves? French. The Italians are Italians. The Chinese are Chinese.
Right.
But when it comes down to us, we totally deny being Mexicans. That's what's the monstrosity behind this whole labels thing. It's okay for the Cubans to be Cubans and the Argentinians to be Argentinians, but why say that a Dominican who is of African descent and a Slavic Argentino and a Mayan Mexican are the same people or the same culture? It's a lie.
It is.
Look, you go into the dictionary, look up Hispanic, it tells you what it is. You look up Latino, you're not going to find it prior to 1990.
What about someone like Debbie Gutierrez? I mean,
Debbie Gutierrez is an American of Mexican descent. And I find the more that I label myself, the smaller and smaller the arena in my particular career is to perform. All of a sudden, they only want me at a Latino club on Latino night. Now it's Mexican women comics. And there's like 3 of us. You know, and when I established myself as I'm American of Mexican descent, I'm a comedian, I can work anywhere, and I do well everywhere. So why should I label myself in my career?
And are your jokes about general American things?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They're about being a mother. No matter what color you are, how old you are, how long you've been married, my jokes are about family living. And I was just discussing this with somebody in industry yesterday, and I brought up to her, not once has our ethnicity come up, because mothers experience the same awful things every day, and we can laugh about all of it. And your husband, whether he's black, white, Mexican, whatever, is going to do and say pretty much the same thing.
Then you're not speaking as American, you're speaking as a human being, right?
But I think
Exactly.
we have our own faults. We're a fault for labeling ourselves as well. In the beginning, the only joke you can find probably as a comedian is talking about our own background. And
Right.
a lot of Hispanic comedians in the past had really gotten off into stardom by talking about their own experiences with the Hispanic
sure.
market. So the American culture sees that as an icon, and then we put a label on it. We are at fault sometimes for doing that.
what do you call
For-
yourself, Luis?
I'm a Mexican American now, but I am
Not a
Mexican.
Chicano.
No, I'm Mexican, and I'm very proud to say that I'm Mexican. You know, like he was mentioning earlier, we find a lot of times when somebody says, "Are you Mexican?" Well, yes, but my father and my mother are from Spain. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you're Mexican, say you're Mexican. I'm very proud to be Mexican, and I was born and raised in Mexico, came here, became an American citizen, but I'm Mexican.
I'm not saying not to be proud of where you're from, but when I go to a party and I say I'm Latina, it just automatically it's because it's a much more accepted term now. If I get into I'm from Honduras, some people don't even know where that is. Unfortunately, and I don't feel like being a teacher. What?
Is that where they make Honduras?
I've been
Honduras?
even asked if it's an island in Hawaii. I mean, that's how bad
Well,
it's
you
been.
know,
Oh, you're
You're
Hawaiian.
Maui.
I think we have
No.
the responsibility to teach people a little bit about who we are and what we do and what we're all about. So take the little time, I recommend, and say, well, Honduras, well, it is here.
Yeah,
So,
but the reason I like the Latino label is because it's inclusive. Like you were saying, why is it so different? Like an Argentinian from Italian descent, and an Afro-Cuban. Why are we all called Latino? But it's an inclusive. Like I don't want to be
It's
like
part of
American.
colonialism. It's not inclusive. It's got a history of colonialism, of racism, of destruction,
But it's
of
true.
my
It's a
history,
true
of my
history.
identity. It's a total monstrosity that is going on. The gentleman right now just said Hispanic. Hispanic refers to the people, the language, the things of Spain. I'm neither people nor a thing of Spain. Why can't I be Mexican? Why do I, in order
you're in
to...
America.
Oh, yeah,
No matter whether you
you're an
are
No,
Americano.
actually, I'm
Argentina
on my
or
own
Mexican or
land.
Chicano, we'll
I'm
be
on
back
my
in
own
more
land.
Cafe California. You're on your own land.
Yes.